everyone, I'm Corinne Margarian, and I'm presenting my work about IEP Meeting Best Practices and collaboration with teachers and service providers for Regent University School of Education for instructional methods for students with disabilities with Dr. Sonia Magai. So let's start from the very beginning. What is an IEP in general? An IEP is more than just a written legal document. It's a map that lays out the program of special education instruction, supports, and services kids need to make progress and thrive in school. IEPs are covered by Special Education Law or the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. So special education process starts from referral. A referral can be made by parents or caregivers or teachers. Any student, regardless the citizenship or immigration status, must be identified and referred for a formal evaluation, as I told, by personnel or by teachers. The next step is evaluation. It's an initial evaluation which is conducted in all areas of concern, whether it's academic or social emotional or other functional performance. And the data collected during the evaluation process actually will form the future IEP for a child, for a student. Next step is eligibility. The student is eligible for special education services if after evaluations it was found that student has a disability and the disability affects the student's academic or other functional performance. So, and here is the IEP step, which we will talk about more afterwards. So if the student meets the eligibility criteria, the IEP team develops and implements an annual IEP, sets the student's academic functional needs, goals, placement, services, as well as secondary transition services. And the last step is a reevaluation, which is being done every 3 years usually, unless the team members, including parents, agree otherwise. And they determine whether the student is still eligible for special education services or not. So for effective IEP meetings, I think that there are 4 crucial pillars which make the meeting effective. So the first of all, it's preparation, then it's collaboration between all the parties of the meeting, it's concise, transparent, and clear communication between all of them, and of course the follow-up. So let's start with preparation. So everything starts when we need to decide when to have a meeting. So parents are contacted via multimodal invitations by teachers or school administration about deciding when the most appropriate day for having a meeting. So they can discuss the dates, times. Also, the teacher should say what is the IEP meeting purpose, the date, time, location, and who is going to participate. So we also need to notify the specialist, of course, who are going to attend the meeting. It's a multidisciplinary team which consists from different teachers, from services or school teachers. And if any specialist cannot make part of the meeting, an excusal note should be sent to parents or caregivers and get the signature about their agreement. As I told before, the invitations are sent via email. Parents can be called. We can send the invitations with hard copies with the students' backpacks. And school personnel usually are being notified via emails. And if the meeting is virtual, a link should be generated and sent to the participants. For the next part of the preparation is mainly about logistics of the meeting. So we need to first think about where is the meeting. The school administration should take care about the coverage for the teachers who are attending the IEP meeting, book the conference room, put the chairs, hard copies, supplies, anything we need for the meeting, arrange translator if it's appropriate, if it's needed, and ensure the parents know where to go, the room number, some information about parking, and so this kind of information. Also, before the meeting, we need to be prepared. We need to prepare all the documentation, work samples, IEP copies, data sheets, progress reports, assessment results, observations, anecdotal records, anything we need to talk about the meeting. So it depends if the meeting is initial. So if it's just an initial IEP for the first time, of course there won't be a lot of like assessments of things or something like that, but we can always have different piece of documentation. So we need to also create an explicit agenda and distribute the copies, and establish the roles, who is going to take notes, who is going to keep time, etc. So make sure the projector works, prepare the cover page for signatures, and a lot of other things. Collaboration is the second pillar for making an IEP meetings effective. Here is the Supreme Court decisions in Rowley's and Andrews emphasize the importance of collaboration between school personnel and students' parents throughout the IEP process. These case decisions provide evidence that meaningfully involving parents in the IEP process is vigorously protected by the court. Collaboration is crucial between all stakeholders across the entire process of IEP. First of all, to make it effective, we need to create a welcoming and positive atmosphere, engage in conversation with parents as they arrive. If this is something new for parents, and they can feel intimidating, so it's really very important to create a trustworthy environment. We can, for example, meet them at the door and walk together to the room. Everyone should be heard during the IEP meetings. We have to encourage parents to talk and share. We shouldn't use any, we as a teachers shouldn't use any language which can be difficult to understand, any professional jargon. We need to be very transparent and open-minded, and we need to also share and brainstorm ideas rather than argue or prove something, and of course foster a spirit of teamwork. All decision-making processes should be done as a team, and we need to also respect everyone's time. We have to be punctual, and if the meeting running late, we need to offer another time and date for a meeting. The next stage for collaboration is the IEP process itself. So throughout the whole process of IEP, there is a close collaboration with all the parties. It starts from the PLAF page when we discussed like students' educational needs, to the goals, where we need to establish the SMART goals. We need to be very specific. Goals should be measurable, attainable, they should be realistic, and they should be result-driven and time-bound. And of course, the goals should be also challenging. So next we will discuss the services, accommodations, modifications, and we need to also talk about LRE, the least restrictive environment. And we need to understand if the student needs extra time on assessments, he or she needs some additional auxiliary tools or technology like headphones or AAC tool. We need to speak about assessments, if they are exempt or not, and if they are not exempt, what kind of state or district-wide assessments they should participate in. And we need to also communicate with parents about the frequency of these assessments, about the days, accommodations, results, and the ways of communication. And of course, we need to always discuss and communicate about the progress reporting, about how the IEP goals work, how we progress, if they are reachable, or if we need to add something more or less. And how we collect the data for the progress reporting. Do we have data sheets? We have assessments. We have observational notes, etc. So, and the IEP implementation, the framework of the IEP implementation should be also discussed during the IEP meeting. We need to see what kind of services students need. Maybe they need speech therapy, maybe they need occupational therapy or adaptive PE. So, and based on these services, we need also to discuss if the start date, frequency, duration, location. So we need to be very transparent, explicit, because not everything in IEP is very clear for parents. And the IEP should be also, we will finalize the IEP collecting the signatures, for making the copies for all participants, of course, summarizing the meeting in the platforms, in the plat page, and that's all. So during all the steps of this IEP meeting, we all need to collaborate. It's not only administrator or teacher should talk about the services or goals, but also other specialists involved, parents involved, and we need to find the best solutions to help students to succeed. The next important pillar is a communication. As I told already, we need to use multimodal means of communication, and in case parents or caregivers do not answer to the calls or to the emails, we need to record all the attempts. When we talk to parents, we need, of course, to explain them the purpose of the IEP meeting, every component of IEP meeting. After every component explained during the IEP meeting, we need to ask whether it was clear, or there are some feedback or comments or questions. So we need also to brainstorm and discuss, and also we need to make sure that these goals are not only for a year, but they are long-term goals which should lead to eventual post-school outcomes. Of course, we need to use positive language and verbiage. We need to be positive. We need to share contacts for the future communication, and we need to also establish some routines how we communicate to parents, if we send their weekly reports, or we have some teacher-parent conferences, or whatever we need to communicate on monthly or quarterly basis maybe. And of course, we need to also let parents know that the changes can be done anytime if the teacher thinks that some goals are already mastered, or we need some more specific objectives, or maybe parent wants to add something. So, but any change that is going to be needs to have for any change that is going to be, we need to have another IEP addendum meeting. And the last step is a follow-up. For a follow-up, we need to summarize IEP minutes, discussions, action plans. We need to send copies with prior written notice to the participants and parents, of course, get signatures of all involved parties, and we need to develop a very actionable plan with timelines, deadlines, with the roles and responsibilities. So we need to make sure to provide the regular feedback, whether it's monthly or quarterly, to parents. We need to provide parents with resources to support their child learning at home, and involve student in discussions if it's appropriate. Of course, gather feedback about the IEP meeting, highlight the most effective parts, and share success with all the team members. Here, I would like to also focus a little bit on IEP collaboration with teachers and related service providers. Everything is a teamwork. Collaboration is a teamwork, and it's required not only between parents and the school, but between all the involved stakeholders. Collaborative practices improve academic, communicative, and social outcomes for students with significant cognitive disabilities. Here is the list of the teachers and related services. So teachers are usually at school, so they could be general education teacher, special education teacher, a specialist like art teacher or music teacher, and the paraprofessionals who are teacher assistants, and they assist the students throughout all the goals, whether it's behavioral goal, academic goal, social emotional goal, etc. And the related services are not only teachers at school, but also some people outside of the school building, like for example special transportation, or there could be a psychologist, or it could be different, like also tools like AAC tool, for example, right? So it could be recreational services, anything related to the students' needs. And additionally, there are some related services that may not be frequently requested, but if there is a reason that child has to have them, of course, we cannot deny. So it could be like hippotherapy, aquatic therapy, music and art therapies, or maybe parent trainings, parent counseling services. Collaboration between the IEP team is crucial, and IEP team should clearly indicate if the request is for the related service provider to conduct an evaluation to gather data, or gather information to provide instruction. IEP teams must address concerns raised about the possible need for related services and determine if the request is for an evaluation or request to address instructional needs. Effective collaboration consists from different parts. And first of all, we need to develop strong working relationship with everyone involved, with teachers and the related service personnel. Include interdisciplinary professionals to support students based on their roles. It could be general education teacher, special education teacher, paraprofessionals, related service providers, and then establish a shared understanding of goals and objectives for the student's education and focus on the student's individual strengths and needs. In order to have effective IEP meetings, all parties should commit to have a well-planned and organized meeting, transparent communication, collaboration between all the individuals involved, follow-ups, get feedback and learn lessons, and apply everything learned. Here is everything I wanted to share and present. That's all. Thank you.